out our shirt on Tespring.
Hey folks, what's going on, little world, little curious, not too nosy. Today I can talk about this subject. I believe it's totally ridiculous. Proof that our Supreme Court is corrupted in so many levels. So pretty much they agreed to hear Trump's immunity claims. They're saying that as president he could do every once and he's okay for doing it.
We're coming on the air with breaking news from the Supreme Court about former President Donald Trump. The court just said they are taking up Mr. Trump's request to hear whether or not he is immune from prosecution. This will temporarily stop the federal election interference case against him from going to trial. It comes after an appeals court in Washington rejected Mr. Trump's broad claim of immunity from criminal charges, specifically for his actions leading up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett is with me. Laura, walk us through what this ruling means.
Okay, so let's talk about how we got here, Lester. The former president had tried to go to the Supreme Court to ask for a pause, to slow everything down so that this election interference case, the one in D.C., about the steps that he took leading up to January 6th, I should say, could be completely paused. He didn't want that D.C. Circuit decision to go into effect, which said that he was not immune from prosecution. Instead, the court did not do exactly what the former president wanted. He wanted a complete pause. Instead, they've decided to grab the issue for themselves and agree to hear the case on an expedited basis. Now, they're going to hear it on April 22nd. You might not say that that's particularly fast, but for the Supreme Court, that is fast. And this is what the special counsel, Jack Smith, had wanted. Knowing that this issue was sort of looming out there, he wanted the high court to rule to give a definitive answer so that you wouldn't have a situation where you would go all the way through trial and one court would say he is immune and one court would say he's not immune. They wanted the Supreme Court to rule on it right away because it's an issue that could make or break their case.
But does this bind the court, however, to once they begin hearing this case, to make a decision within a finite period of time?
No. Then at that point, they can make a decision whenever they want. I would imagine they'll still expedite it and they'll rule relatively quickly, but they are not under any time frame whatsoever. They can take as long as they want. They could issue it in the summertime. And so that's the reason. But for Mr. Trump, in some ways, this is a win because it slows things down. Remember, this trial was set to begin in March. That's not nearly going to be a possibility. The special counsel had hoped that the Supreme Court would take it up even faster and perhaps resolve it because, of course, the special counsel needs this resolved. His job depends on this being resolved.
Would this decision by the court, when they make it apply beyond just this one, beyond the January 6th case?
Potentially, and I think that might be why the Supreme Court is taking it up in this way. He has raised the issue of being immune, not only in this case in Washington, D.C., but also in Florida and in New York, and it could keep coming up. If the Supreme Court hadn't resolved it and taken the issue up on the merits itself, he could keep raising this issue in a variety of different contexts. And so now we'll have a final answer.
It's just really discussing how the Supreme Court made their decision. They're going to look into this. But there's no need for look at it. You know, it's obvious. President that does not have full immunity, some reason, we're not sure about this. You know, that's total BS. And all they're trying to do is delay Trump going to this trial. And hope he does lose. He's the most corrupted president there was, too. And they always complain about, Joe Biden is corrupted, but there's no evidence of him being corrupted. He's not perfect. But once again, the only person that's proven to be corrupted are the Republican Party, how they're finding different ways to lay, and they're lying what happened on January 6th. And I totally believe he started it. If you remember his speech, it was a bunch of lies that liquors was stolen, and everybody that were with him are in jail or facing some kind of, justice themselves. Also, the whole thing going on, all the drama and BS going with our government, countries are watching this. We're pretty much a laughing stock. It's such a great country, but the leaders are just brainwashed and religious fanatics who doesn't know what they're doing, and they care about themselves, and they detend our Christians and what religion they are, and it's just all make-a-believe and hogwash, and a lot of people believe. And anybody believes in Trump is the best way to describe it. You're in a cult, and open your eyes. So that's all I say. Like and subscribe. Maybe do better next time. Thanks for watching.